Welcome back to Messy Church. Welcome back to Messy Church after our summer break. I hope everyone had a fun summer and that you are all happy to be back to school. I want to say a big hello to Lily, Lexi, Archer, Kendra, Emily, Olivia, Leyland, Cameron, Lily, Madeline, Elizabeth, Patrick, James, Bella, and Madalena, along with anyone else out there who is watching. I hope everyone is well and happy. Today we're going to learn how Jesus taught his disciples that for any of us or any of them to be the greatest, we first must be the least or the last. Jesus found that his disciples and followers were arguing about which one of them was the best and most important to Jesus. They were just walking through the desert one time and they had this discussion, and some of them thought they were better than the others. So Jesus heard this, and so I'm going to try and explain to you what Jesus meant by saying that to be the best, you have to be the least or the last. You see, people often think that they are the greatest or the most important and argue with others about this. Look at this key ring, okay? This is my key ring, and there's 1, 2, and 3 keys on here. So that's a fair number of keys for me to have to carry around. It's kind of heavy. The keys are all many different sizes and shapes. Which of these keys do you think, of all these keys, do you think are the most important? Actually, there's 4 keys here. Well, if I want to get into my house, I have to use this key. And this key is really important so I can get inside my house to do things. This key is the key I use to start my car. And so that's really important if I want to go anywhere or drive anywhere. Oh, and then this key belongs to my post office box. Because at my house, we don't get mail delivered to us. We have to go to the post office and pick it up. And this is the key that I get in to get to the mailbox that's mine. And finally, can you see this? Little wee tiny, tiny key. Do you think this key is very important? Well, for me it is, because if I don't have this key and I've locked my suitcase when I go away somewhere, then I can't get into it. So I have to have the key to get into my suitcase. And that's very important if you go away on a vacation or whatever. So it would be pretty silly to argue which of these keys is the most important, because they all have very special jobs to do or something to open. So how about people? Have you ever heard people arguing between themselves about which of them is the greatest or the most important person? I have. You might be surprised to know that even Jesus' disciples had arguments like this. I'm going to tell you what happened when the disciples were traveling with Jesus a long, long time ago. Here we go. One day, a long time ago, the disciples were walking along a road with Jesus. They began arguing with each other. Jesus heard them, and when he got to the place they were going to, Jesus asked them, "What were you guys arguing about?" The disciples suddenly became very quiet. They were feeling a little uncomfortable because they had been arguing about which one of them was the greatest or the most important disciple. They kept quiet and they didn't say anything, but Jesus knew what they were arguing about. So Jesus sat down with the disciples and he told them, "If anyone wants to be first, they must be the very last and be a servant to everyone else." Now, a servant is someone who does things for other people and is helpful and caring and will take care of things that other people need help with. When Jesus said this, he was trying to explain to his disciples that you don't have to be big and important to be the greatest. The way to be the greatest is to serve others. You can serve other people by loving other people, being kind to them and generous to others, sharing with others, be helpful and caring, along with many other things. The disciples did not want to hear this because they all thought they were the greatest and most important to Jesus. To show them what he meant, Jesus called a little child over to him. He held the child in his arm and he said, "Anyone who welcomes one of these little children also welcomes me, and also welcomes the one who sent me." And you know who sent Jesus? You're right, it was God. Jesus wants us to know that it doesn't matter how important you are or how old you are. What matters to Jesus is how you treat other people and how humble you are. We should not expect to get special treatment or rewarded for good things we do. We should just do them to show others that we care. You see, back in Jesus' time, many, many years ago, people did not think that children were very important, and they usually did not pay much attention to them. But Jesus cared about all the children and was teaching everyone how important and special all the children were. Jesus wanted to teach his disciples and all of us that serving, loving, and loving one another rather than arguing was the way to become the greatest. Now Jesus is teaching us all that we should care for those who are smaller or weaker than ourselves. When we do care for others, we are doing God's work. By being kind to those who need a friend or to help someone, it's like us opening a door and saying welcome to those who need that kind of love and care. As we all grow older, we will find many people who are in need. It may be a young child or an elderly person like your grandma or grandpa, or someone who's sick, or just someone who's sad. We all will have many chances to be kind and helpful to a younger person, a brother or a sister, or an older brother or sister, or other people that we meet. Whenever you try to help others who need kindness or help of some kind, you are welcoming them and showing them God's love. We need to remember to share what we have with others too. For example, when we're playing games, we should let others go first and not always expect to be the one that gets to go first. By letting others go first, by helping those who are in need, by being kind and sharing and loving, we are showing God our love and being the greatest in God's eyes. So today we have learned that being one of God's children does not mean that we are greater or better than other people or richer or smarter. It really is about caring for others and helping them and being kind. This is the way God wants us to serve others. Okay, so now we're going to do the repeat after me prayer. Are you ready? Here we go. Repeat after me. Dear God, help us to remember to be the best. We must be willing to help others, to be kind and caring, and to love others as you have taught us. Amen. So now I'm going to go ahead. With starting Messy Church up again, I only just started to do one craft until we get into the swing of things. And we're only going to do Messy Church once a month for now, until we can get back into seeing each other at church again. So the first craft that we're going to do, I've called it the Serving Heart. So in your craft package, you will get a heart. And the heart has, it's a heart, and then there's a half a heart attached to it. And I put a bit of piece of tape on it to hold it together. And I've punched holes all around the edge. So when you hold your heart up with the masking tape facing you, you'll find that there's a piece of string that's already threaded through. You leave that one about that length, and then you take the other end, the long end, and you're going to go through the back side of the heart and pull it up through the front side, and then you're going to go back down under on the bottom side, and it's like you're sewing through each hole. So you go in through the back and up through the top, and make sure you keep this part so that we'll have something to tie it to when we're done. So again, through the bottom, through the back part of it, and up through the front. And then when you get down to the point, you'll put it in the back part, okay? And instead of going underneath again, you're going to go straight across and go through the hole from the front to the back. So when you do that, you're going to see these are all wrapped around, and then this one goes straight across, okay? And then you start again and go, this time you go through the front and through the front to the back. So you do the opposite. This side you do on the opposite. You go front to back. So this side you do through the back to the front, then you go straight across, and then you do the front to the back. So that when you finished your last one, both your strings come through at the back, okay? Then you will tie the 2 strings together. You might need to get mom or dad or an older brother or sister or somebody to help you. Tie them together, or you could tape them, I guess, too. And you tie them and pull it really tight, and then you'll see that you can hang it up. And if you want, if it's tipping forward too much, just get a piece of tape and put a piece of tape on the back of each string here to hold it up. So then when you get that done, you can take the masking tape off because now it's held together, okay? And then in your bag, you will have some stickers, and they're heart happy face stickers. I only have one, so I'm going to put it right on mine in one spot. But I think every one of you guys in your packages will have, I think, at least 3. So I'm going to put this one right in the center here, like that, okay? And then also in your package, you'll have one of these sheets, and it says, ways to show how we can do for others. Be kind, helpful, and share, okay? And they're little squares. So what you can do is you can cut them out, cut the squares out, and just cut them into little squares. Now this first one I cut, it says, help clean up, and it's got a picture of a box of toys. So pick up your toys to help your mom and dad. And then this one says, ask someone how they are. So you could just say to somebody, if they look like they're sad or they're lonely, you can say, how are you doing today? Okay? And then this one says, share with someone else. So if you had, if you were playing with a ball or you had some paper or drawing a picture, you could share with somebody to let them draw us a picture too. And then this one says, let someone else go first. So you can take all these and then you could just put them in your pouch. Or what I was going to do, you'll also have some pieces of paper here, different pieces. You should have those in with your heart when you open your package. You can cut these to fit, and then you can glue your little messages on it so it's a bit bigger so they don't get lost so easy, okay? So you can do that and glue that on like that. There we go. So it says, let someone else go first. And when you get it glued on, you can put it in your pouch. And then the same with, let's see. We can do a couple more here just to show you. Share with someone else. So I'm going to glue just in the middle of that. And then stick it on. So there's only glue on the middle of it. So it makes a neat little note. And you can put that in your heart. And then this one, I'm just going to put some glue in the middle. And then you can glue that one on. And it says, ask someone how they are. And then this one, let's see here. This is probably an important one for a lot of us. Help clean up your toys. Now I don't have a lot of toys, but I have a lot of craft stuff that I do. And I have to remember to clean it up when I'm doing it at home so I don't always leave a mess around. So you put all these things in here, and then you have a little pouch, and on the outside you could write, you can write the words for helping words, or you can write serve others. There we go. And so that says serve others. And then in this pouch, there's lots of different ideas. So some days you can get up maybe before you're going to go to school, and you'll pick one of those out and you'll look at it and it'll say, let someone else go first. So when you get to school, if you're doing something with the other kids and that, instead of always wanting to go first yourself, you could say to one of the other kids, gee, I went first before. How about you go first this time? Or another one you could do, if you pulled out, says, share with someone else. So if you're doing something at school and say you're coloring or you're doing something like that, and you both want, say there's only a certain number of colored pencils or crayons or something, and you both go for want the same one, you could say, oh, it's okay, you can use it first and then I'll use it after. So just any ways you can think of to try and be kind and caring, okay? So this is our craft for today. And remember, you can cut up as many of these as you want to stick on the to stick in your envelope, okay? So that takes care of that. And then also in your package, we have a coloring page and a crossword puzzle for you to do. So there's just the one craft, the Serving Others Heart craft, and the coloring page and the crossword puzzle. I hope you have fun doing this craft, and hang it up somewhere where you can pull the things out and think of nice things to do for people on certain days. And you can even, on these papers that I gave you, that you included, or another paper that maybe your mom or dad could give you, is write your own ideas of how you can serve others by being helpful, caring, loving, and kindness, okay? So just think of all kinds of other things that you can do if there isn't all the ones that you want on this one out here, okay? I hope you all have enjoyed our time together. May God bless you all. I hope you are all doing a good job at school, whether you're still at home or return to classes at the school. Remember, please be good, help your parents, get along with all your brothers and sisters, and take care of yourselves. I miss you all, and I look forward to Messy Church in person again, including our nice meals and games when it's safe for us to come back to the church. You can FaceTime me, you can call me, or send me a picture to let me know how you are all doing, or to show me your crafts and how they turned out. Say hello to your parents, and I hope everyone is doing well. So bye till next time. I'm really happy to be back and doing this again. The next Messy Church will be the end of the last Wednesday of October, just so you know, and I'll come up with some fun craft hopefully again, and some stuff we can do. So if you want to get in touch with me, I'd love to hear from you one way or another. But if I don't hear from you, know I'm always thinking about you, and I'm really happy that I'm back doing Messy Church with you again. So you take care. Bye for now.